What's good, everybody? It's Big Gabe James. I'm in these streets. We're in these wide receiver streets, one of the most critical positions that need to be addressed in this upcoming draft and in free agency, in my opinion. So let's just jump right into it. At the beginning of this video, I have a little collage of I pulled up to CBS Sports. I followed them with Dallas Cowboys. They got some really good sports writers, and they gave a 5-point plan for the Dallas Cowboys what to do in this draft. And I got all those points in there along with the full roster of the receivers, and also I don't know what else I had. I think I may have and I had a whole list of top 10 receivers. So you can go through and check that out. So obviously, when we're talking about the receiver group, it starts with CeeDee Lamb. We know what he is. It's funny because when he came out in the 2020 draft, I was saying, I didn't know he would be like, him and Amari, nasty. I wasn't talking number one, number two, didn't care. Then when we saw CeeDee turning up his rookie year, I remember when me and Skywalker was talking off air before we did the late night hype, he might be the number one and Amari might be the number two. And I remember me and OC would fight with Boss and Law on who was the number one. Was it we were going with CeeDee and they were going with Amari? Then we switched to Amari because we thought CeeDee was tripping, and then we were like, "Is CeeDee that guy?" And it was noise in the building. Was he that guy? But he shut everybody up. He got record numbers, and even when he got hurt last year, he still got over 100 catches, still got over 1,000 yards. That man's a dog. There's nothing else you can say about him. He shut everybody up. He proved everybody he's the number one. He definitely proved that 88 to be real. And that's what you want to say about him. After that, it's bad business. Jalen Tolbert, I picked him in the draft. I went down and seen him at the Senior Bowl. I mocked him. Three people I mocked exactly right. I mocked Jake Ferguson, I mocked Sam Williams, and I mocked Jalen Tolbert. I don't think I have mocked Jalen Tolbert the right round, but I mocked him for Dallas twice. I wanted him. I thought he'd be a great addition. You saw what he did at South Alabama. Turned up, had like 84 catches, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaged like 16 yards a catch. We thought he was going to come right in and turn up. Rookie year was a wash. Second year, we were like, okay, he's going to do it. And last year, he had career-high numbers across the board, had 7 receiving touchdowns, had a big game-ending touchdown win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you saw growth, but it's nothing for you to say, oh, he's your number 2 coming in and we feeling good. We don't have to trip going in the draft. It's not that. Third year, this is the last year. I don't know. I just feel like Jalen Tolbert, he's just a complimentary guy. He's not that number 2. Jalen Brooks, we love his size, but, he'll make some good catches here and there, and I like Jalen Brooks, but he's just not your number 2. You feel me? Kevontae Turpin's more of the gadget guy. I love how they brought him back, but he's more of a gadget player. He's a guy that's going to get you, he's going to get you return ability. He'll get you splash plays, but he's not and he's really small. Dude's 155, so you ain't, relying on that. We've seen small receivers getting crushed. Look at Tank Dell. So you can't rely on that. They did spend the 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo. We know nothing about him, but he's just a big, strong receiver. You know what I mean? Came out in the 1st round, really didn't get his time at Carolina that he wanted. He said he didn't really fit what they were saying, but he said this was going to be his redemption. So you don't want to just throw that away. That's 23 years old, 6'2", 6'3", 200-something pounds, 220 pounds. That's a big dude. So there's still hope for him, but you still can't rely on that because of what he hasn't done in Carolina. Then they picked up Parrish Campbell. I wanted Parrish Campbell like 3 years ago when he was a speed receiver, hella injured when he was at Indianapolis. I said, let's scoop him because you can just get some speed. He went to Philly, he went to New York, and now he's finally here 3 years later after I wanted him. I don't know what he really offers besides speed. You want that speed, but he stays hurt all the time. And right now you can just rely on him just being a camp body. And then you have Ryan Flournoy, who is a gutsy receiver, gritty, came from a small school, can make some good catches, really good blocking ability, strong receiver. So, but once again, you can't rely on that. You can't sit there and say that's going to be the number 2. So you got a lot of unknowns, a lot of young depth guys, but nobody really you can say that's your number 2. In comes the draft. Well, let's talk free agency before the draft. So obviously, there's a few names still out there. We saw Stephon Diggs got picked up by the Patriots and signed a big deal, but it wasn't really a big deal. Just a lot of big numbers in the in the media. But when you really look at the numbers, it's not a crazy deal. You got Amari Cooper available. You got Tyler Lockett still available, and Keenan Allen. Me personally, boss has been on that Keenan Allen rampage. I'm on it too. I feel like if you got a Keenan Allen, it doesn't stop you from picking a top receiver at 12, but it definitely helps buffer because you got a solid guy who's a vet who can run routes, hands. His game was never predicated on speed. His game was predicated on precision route running, hands, those type of things. And right now, if you added him with CeeDee Lamb, you feeling real good, and then you can still get your receiver. You won't have to get it at 12, but you can still get it at 12. Tyler Lockett, small receiver, 33, have history with Brian Schottenheimer over there with Seattle. So there's history there. He's still reliable. I would rather a bigger receiver than a smaller guy like a Tyler Lockett, but he still would be definitely effective with your team. But I just want a bigger receiver just for me. And Amari Cooper. I only said no to Cooper because I don't know if that revisitation would happen with the Joneses. I don't know if that was really good. We know it was more Mike McCarthy than the Joneses now that wanted him gone, so maybe that can be rekindled. I think he'd be a great compliment to CeeDee because he won't be the number one guy now, and he's still good enough to still get you good numbers. So he's definitely reliable. So if they were to pick Amari Cooper, I wouldn't be like, hell no. I'd be like, okay, but I just feel like Amari Salt's still, he still be having them injuries where he won't practice and play, so he's just unknown to me. But I ain't mad if you brought Amari Cooper back, but my top wish list would be in the order of Keenan Allen. I'll probably go Amari because he's bigger, and then Tyler Lockett. You got one of them that would really stabilize the receiver room, and then you would feel better going into the draft. Now, let's talk about the draft. We know about the receivers, Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, Ibuka. Those are the names that are being talked about. If you look at that 5-point plan that the CBS Sports gave, they gave those scenarios. Ted McMillan, 6'4", damn near 220, huge hands, long arms. It set the Arizona record with receiving yards, over 3,000 receiving yards. I think over 26 touchdowns in his career. A lot of long receptions. He would be a great compliment to CeeDee. And to me, he's boom or bust. He's going to be either super, super nasty or he'll just be regular. So that's why I worry about him. He's more of a boom or bust prospect to me. But if he's there at 12, you got to take that chance because you ain't just finding no guys like that size can do those things. So I would be Captain Trade back. But if McMillan's there, you got to take that chance on him. So I'm cool with that. If McMillan's there, I'm cool with taking him at 12, and then you figure it out from there. If McMillan is gone, and Matthew Golden, we've already talked about that on Burgers and Blitzes. My guy Mike White loves him, wants him at 12. I said I like him, but I'm nervous at 12 because of the size. But after thinking about it, I'm like, okay, he's damn near 6 foot. We've seen Devontae Smith. We've seen smaller receivers go early and turn up. 4.29, Dallas don't have nobody like that. Maybe Kevontae Turpin, but he's tiny. And Matthew Golden is not that. He's not tiny. He's about 200 pounds, almost 6 foot. 4.29, you can't do anything like that. And he was a dog toward the end of the year, especially in the playoffs. Went crazy in the playoffs. And then when you look at his quarterback, Quinn Ewers, I've never been high on him. I kind of was trying to be high on him, when he had his finally got his time. But the more you just watched him, the more you just looked at him as a prospect, I just said, man, this dude is regular. He'd maybe be a backup in the NFL. Maybe. He ain't never going to be no starter. He's going to be more of a backup. That's just what he's going to be. And when you look at him compared to Matthew Golden, sorry, my door open, but just think if they would have had Arch Manning. Feel me? If they would have had Arch Manning, then his numbers probably would have been better because Quinn Ewers ain't nothing to speak about. I'm sorry. You overrated prospect to me. And if you would have had a Manning at quarterback for Golden, his numbers would have been higher because he damn near almost got 1,000 with Ewers. And he is so regular. So if Matthew Golden is there, I changed my mind. I said, I don't know if I would do 12. Yeah, I would, because Dallas needs speed. They need somebody who can take the top off the defense, somebody who's a threat. He's got great hands, can hit you deep, hit you over with the crossers, the shallows, good hands, attacks the ball, stops on a dime. You need that. So, I was like, I don't know, 12. I changed my mind. Dallas don't got no speed like that. They need somebody that can be a serious, deep threat. We need somebody who can go vertical and really put pressure on the defense and really let CeeDee work that slot, that underneath, and let that guy just take the top off the defense and give you a threat every time he's on that field. So I'm with that. The other scenario was Will Johnson cornerback from Michigan. I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. He's a good player. I watched him, but I'm sorry. I'm not saying Michigan players. I'm not that guy. Oh, don't draft no Michigan players. But man, I'm just telling you, Michigan players just don't do good in Dallas. Jordan Lewis was one of the rare ones, right? But even him, he didn't hit the ground where he did. But he had his ups and downs in Dallas, right? But we love Jordan Lewis. I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. But Michigan players just don't tackle. Schoonmaker, you don't know. Mozzie, I don't believe in Mozzie. I'm sorry. I want to, but I don't believe in him. So I'm sorry. At the 12th pick, if Ted is gone and Golden is gone and Will Johnson's there, I'm not taking him at 12. That's too big of a risk for me. Michigan players just ain't doing it in Dallas. And 12 corner, not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's where I'm talking about trading back. They also brought Ebuka from Ohio State, OHIO. I'm out here, and he's always been a number 2. You look at all the receivers that come through there: Jeremiah Smith, Jackson in Jinjuba. I don't know if I said that right, but y'all know who the hell I'm talking about in Seattle. And your boy over there at New York, Garrison. Like, there's been so many receivers where he's played the number 2 and he's receiving yards is crazy. So, to me, he's a CeeDee Lamb clone, right? So, I'm just not doing that at 12 because he's a complimentary receiver. He's not a number 1 to me. He's not a number 1 going to go in there and just change the offense. He's not doing that for me. He's a perfect complement. So I'm not doing 12 as a perfect complement, especially when you ain't running a speed like Matthew Golden. Now, if he was running the 4.2s, then I'm going to change it. But he's not. He's running 4.4s, and I just feel like I can get him later. I could trade back and get him later, and that's what I would do. And that was the last scenario. If McMillan's not there, if Golden's not there, if Johnson's not there, I'm not taking that. And if Ebuka, I'm not doing that. I'm trading back because I feel like I can get him later. I've been captain trade back because I said I want to pick up a couple picks. If I can pick up another second rounder and pick up that 4th, I'm trading back. And if a team is talking about trading back, I'm doing that. Because if McMillan's not there and then Golden's not there, I'm trading back. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to told you, I can get that receiver later. I could get Ebuka later, in my opinion, at a 20, 18, or 20, 18 between a 22 and 18 and 22. I could get him there, in my opinion. So I'll take that. I'll take that chance. And then I even said Luther Burden. Nobody's talking about him right now. Now, when I watched this tape, everybody's like, "Oh, he got that speed." He ran 4.4. And I feel like his playing speed on the field is faster than what he's timed. He's elusive. His yak. He's a really good player. And I could see if you traded back in, it was in the 20s, then I'm going to go for a Luther Burden. I showed y'all my draft, and I'm going to show you it again. I drafted Luther Burden. I traded back twice. Got him at 24. I'm not mad at that. And then if you got a Luther Burden, you picked up a solid free agent acquisition and maybe Amari Cooper, Lockett, or Keenan Allen, and then you add Luther Burden, and then you doubled up in that second round. And I told you I was going after Tyleik Williams. Derek Harmon was in there, but I want big guys, so I was the Alfred Collins and the Tyleik Williams. I wanted both of them, and then I snatched up a corner in the top 100, and I snatched up my running back from Virginia Tech, your boy Tootin. So that was a great draft for me. So that's where I'm at. If I'm grading this receiver room, I'm gonna give it a C. As a whole overall grade, damn near I'm giving the Cowboys a C because they're an average team right now. They're not above average team. They're an average team. Look at the record. But CeeDee Lamb in itself gives us a higher grade because if you don't have CeeDee Lamb, this is a D, maybe an F if you don't have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb brings it up to a C. But everybody else, unknown. You get what I mean? So I'm going with the C with the grade. McMillan, Golden, I'm with that at 12. If they're not there, I'm trading back, and I'm going to try to get my receiver then, and then I'm going to go after, if y'all want to go after the running back in the second round, that's cool if you doubled up, but I want a couple defensive tackles, dog, because I don't care what anybody's saying. That defensive tackle room, especially that 0 and the 1 tech that's holding that position for these other guys, I'm sorry, Mozzie ain't in it to me. And unless he does something miracle this year, Denzel Dax don't know nothing about him. Justin Rogers don't know nothing about him. And that defensive tackle room, and you ain't got a veteran, is lacking. So I'm not taking that chance. So that's where I'm going. Tell me what y'all think. What's your thoughts? Should they trade back? Should they grab one of them big dogs? Let me know in your comments. This will be a good conversation. Can't wait to hear you. Got some good shows coming up. I'm hitting my girl Star up. We're going to get that rolling back. I hit my dog Lou Takes up. I never really did a show with him, but he's really good, and I'd like to do a show with him. So keep your eyes on that. I think that'll be a really good show and getting back in the mix. So we'll see how it goes. Big Game James, I'm out. Watch this video. All of it. Peace.